And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your week 2 Loki division. We have Feeding Frenzy versus the Olympians, and we're already into picks and bans here. And if I am not mistaken, I do believe the Olympians will be on the right side. So let me go ahead and get all of the settings taken here. There we are. Sorry, everything's had to happen at once. I apologize, guys. Bear with me a little bit here, but we have Tiamat, Athena, Soul, and Set taken off the board already. Nothing really too out of the ordinary with those first 4 bans, so I do believe those are at least respectable in some way, shape, or form. Gilgamesh, once again, I don't think a lot of people have a lot of practice against that god, especially in a competitive setting, to feel comfortable with anybody playing it. I really like the god. I do think that he's a bit of a flex pick into at least 3 roles, so it's just a good god to get off the board. Chiron has made an enormous rise in the meta with the addition of all of the new starter items and Transcendence coming into the meta as heavily as it has. Having him off the board, probably one of the best hunters in the game right now with the current build. Having him off the board is always a good thing. So we'll see what the Feeding Frenzy elect to go with their first pick here. I'd elect Sobek. Always decent. I don't know if it's first pick worthy, but maybe they have a strategy going into it that I don't understand completely. So we'll continue that going. And I do believe that we have Hunter with us now. How's it going, man? You here?
I'm here, dude. Finally finished my set. Yeah, it's going good. Finished up. We are ready. I don't know. I've never Feeding Frenzy is kind of my Loki team per se. But I don't really know about the Sobek pick. I know they recently had an old support crane. Fortunately, left the league, and Scotty is taking over that role. Marissa is playing ADC this week, where Paisley normally fills that spot, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with the Sobek pick. But I think it's more comfort for Scotty, and I'm not really opposed to it. I do like what Sobek brings to the team. I just think it's how you play after it to make the Sobek pick kind of worthy.
I mean, yeah, I would have expected, like the Olympians did, picking up that Scylla first. I feel like the Scylla is a lot better of at least a mid to late game transition carry for the team, and I think that god is at least on the higher priority list in comparative to a Sobek. But if it does fall into that comfort, not wanting to let it go, putting your best person on their best god, for instance, is never going to be a bad thing. I just don't know if it fills that first pick slot in the picks and bans phase. But with that being said, the Scylla Fafnir logged in for the Olympians, and the 2 frontliners for Feeding Frenzy already taken in as well. Sobek, King Arthur. Now, those 2 actually do play fairly well off of each other, especially in the front line. You have one who is incredibly aggressive, or can be the incredibly aggressive plick in the King Arthur, just diving the backline whenever they get the opportunity to. And then you have the Sobek for the peel and just the displacement in your backline to make sure that your carries stay alive. I do like that play style coming in for them.
The only issue that I'm thinking with picking the King Arthur there is you already have 2 people that can cancel your main damage ability and your Beyblade spin. I personally don't like the King Arthur pick there. I do like the synergy between King Arthur and Sobek, but I personally would go more of like an Osiris-based pick here, where can run down the Scylla and Fafnir rather than trying to out-aggress them. The only thing I look at here when you're looking at this Olympians draft is it going to be an Ares or a Fafnir solo? Now, I'm assuming it's going to be an Ares solo, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I don't know how that matchup's going to fare. If Jrox's King Arthur can kind of get ahead, I do like you know what King Arthur can bring to the table ahead, right? So that's the only thing I'm worried about. As the game just kind of miscued, I believe Big P's power went out, so we're gonna have a tiny bit of wait here before we hop into the next game. But yeah, with that being said, Crowns, haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How are things going for yourself?
Oh, you know, today's kind of been an expletive show, but you know, with that, it not too bad. I had my wife's family was in town, so We had her birthday. We had Chewbacca Chew's birthday also. So it's been a birthday week for us here. So and just kind of chilling.
Yeah, Valhalla Season 10 is here. We're through 2 weeks of the season. You know, a lot of things going to happen with rosters and stuff like that. You guys are ever interested? You know, you like the cast, like the stuff you're watching? I believe it's !Discord. If you go to Valhalla C1, we'll show you the who to message. I'm sure if you post in the chat that you want to join the league, I'm sure somebody will assist you with that. Yeah, with that being said, Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern, we have the Olympians versus the Feeding Frenzy. Crown, what's your kind of thoughts with this matchup going into this week? You know, with the Feeding Frenzy had a pretty hot start to the season. They picked up the 2-0 last week. And the Olympians, just going back in here, I believe they lost the first week. So what do you think kind of like, what do you want to see out of these teams going into this week?
Well, I think the Olympians have the names on their roster to actually make a big impact this season. Now, StInKyyPPiNkYY is actually one of the people that I've played with personally, and I know that he has a very good mind for the game. It's just being able to, I mean, competitive is all about being able to synergize with the rest of your team and make it work, right? And with the first week, it's kind of really a learning phase, depending on how much practice that the teams get. It's your first actual competition game, and it's when everything's supposed to come together. Now, that first week, some teams do fall a little short, and I'd say that's where the Olympians kind of came into the season at. But I do expect them to be at least on the lower high tier of the teams throughout the season. Now, with the Feeding Frenzy, there are also a decent amount of names that I do recognize, but they got off to a hot start, and I don't expect that to change. I expect them to stick to their game plan. I don't really expect them to fall into any sort of a meta focus. I expect them to play what's comfortable for them, and there's never a bad thing in that. I think they're going to be comfortable with whatever they draft. It's just up to them to execute.
Yeah, one big thing to look at when you look at this Feeding Frenzy scheme is like, you know, like Jrox, arguably one of the best soul laners in Loki last season, but the reunite of Marissa and Scotty coming into this set, you know, former dual lane champions, hopefully they can kind of get back onto their heels and maybe like even help this Feeding Frenzy team even better than Paisley does. Paisley's a really solid ADC, played a really good week last week. But I don't know how this team kind of fares going into this week. They have played a lot. You know, Charles is trying to, you know, help the team a lot. They were having a lot of comms issues and stuff like that. They've kind of overcome that a bit. I just really want to see what happens here with Paisley not being in the lineup. And, you know, they have a pretty much a totally different dual lane. And their dual lane played really well last week. Game one, their dual lane went 4-4 and 19. 21. 4-4 and 21. So, you know, that's a pretty big stat line being put up in the dual lane there. But, like, this whole team last week played well. Like, you look at their stat lines from last week, and like Char's probably had the worst stat line on paper, and she went 4-3 and 6. So going into this week, obviously, like you said, they're very hot. But this Olympians team, the one thing that kind of worries me about this roster is they've had a lot of roster changes. Earlier in the week, they did pick up their owner of the org in that white guy, or Chevy, I believe his name's Chevy Boy underscore or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of bounce back from that. Hopefully it goes well. You don't want to see any Cherokee. You don't want to see anyone kind of be downed on rosters. So let's see what kind of goes into this week. But yeah, with that being said, these teams made a tiny bit of trades this week. The Feeding Frenzy moved on from Get Baked and Sleep and Fluffy Bunny and picked up Scotty and Radioactive as a sub there. So be interesting to see what happens.
I think regardless of what happens, the set is going to be a very mid-game focus set. I don't think either one of these teams is looking to really step outside of their comfort zone within the first 7 minutes. I do think it's going to come down to that mid-lane 3v3, and whichever team gets ahead there will definitely have, I believe, have the game. But with that,
yeah,
Sobek and King Arthur being picked up for Feeding Frenzy, I really want those two frontliners to work well with one another, because I do think that if they do execute it well, it'll be very difficult for the Olympians to step into that.
Right. I really want to see what they do in team fights though, because more Sobek's like he is pretty aggressive as a support, right? So it'd be interesting to see what they kind of do. Like, is Jrox going to play more of like a mid fight role, or is he going to let Sobek be a bit more aggressive? Like, what do you think they should do? Like, do you see the Sobek being a bit harder of an initiator, or do you think King Arthur should just try to do his thing on the front line?
So I do believe that Sobek works best as a peel god when you do have that very aggressive solo lane pick. Like you were saying, if it were an Osiris or something like that, I would like those roles to be swapped, because Osiris is very scary to dive a backline into because of the slows. It just opens up the carries to do whatever they want to do. But with a King Arthur and the playstyle that King Arthur brings, I do believe that he works best as the aggressor, and Sobek works best as the displacement, as the peel for your own team.
Yeah, I think one of the most underrated things in Loki is gods that allow you to hit abilities. With Loki players being kind of more inexperienced, maybe their mechanics aren't to point of maybe like a higher division player. That's why I really like this Fafnir Ares pick, because they're two gods that just kind of let you hit your abilities. And obviously, with Smite, not necessarily, but most of the time the team that has more abilities wins the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out moving forward. It'd be interesting to see how even the Olympians backline frontline duo kind of works out.
Yeah, no, that's the general rule of Smite, right? Whoever hits the most stuff wins the game.
Right.
But we do have the rest of the bands taken off the board on her Finmir for the Feeding Frenzy, and Merlin and Tsukiyomi taken off on the side of the Olympians. Now that Merlin ban, I would hope is a more of a targeted ban, because I don't think Merlin is really worth a ban just as the god exists itself. I don't know where that one's coming from. I would hope it's more of a targeted ban.
I'm not really sure if Big P was even thinking Merlin here. Like, to be completely honest, like as you said, it's more of a target ban. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen a lot of Big P's play, but actually, okay. With that being said, they did sub out Big P for Paisley. So that kind of changes the team motive. I'm not sure if that moved Marissa to mid or Paisley to mid. With them both being ADCs, the Discordia is going to be looked at here. With them both being ADCs, I think maybe you look for a more of like an ADC-based mid here, but they're going to look for the Discordia pick. What's your kind of thoughts on the Discordia pick? Do you like it, or...?
Into Scylla, I think she does have a pretty good matchup. She's relatively safe. She has that dash with iframes in it, so you can dodge the Sickums or the Crushes, or even the I'm a Monster if it's used at the right time. And the CC immune ult's never a bad thing when you're playing against an Artemis and an Ares and even a Fafnir for that matter. So I think she's a very safe pick into the draft that Olympians have, and I don't mind it. Her first 7 levels, just like Scylla, is really rough, but not as rough as Scylla's goes. So I would hope that she is able to get to the upper hand in that mid lane and at least force those little wins in the early game to allow her team in the mid skirmish 3v3s to actually get ahead.
Right, but going back to what I was saying earlier, the guaranteed abilities and stuff like that, I really like what she has into the other comp there with, like, you can hit Ares, you can hit Artemis, like, basically whenever you want, because they don't have any sort of dashes. They both have a movement speed-based ability. But I'm not sure if you have to worry about that too much. The only pick that I'm really worried about this Feeding Frenzy team is that Bakasura. And the reason why I say that is because Bakasura's kind of play is wait, and then just win the game. But if you're playing against a Scylla, Artemis, Ares, Fafnir, even Nemesis, like, they're more late game based gods. I feel like if you want to win this mid game, you want to play very aggressive, and you want to make sure you win that early game. With that being said, the jungler for the Feeding Frenzy team is not here. The mid laner for the Feeding Frenzy team is not here. That really kind of worries me for this team, because they play a lot through that mid jungle. Like, their mid jungle is very, very good.
Yeah, the Bakasura pick also into something like an Ares or even a Fafnir is very worrisome for me. I mean, that god is specifically useful on how fast he's able to move around your team and how quickly he can initiate and get out. With an Ares with the ult being used at the right time, or even a Fafnir stun being used at the right time, it shuts down everything a Bakasura is able to do. So I really hope the backline divers for this Feeding Frenzy team and this Bakasura and King Arthur can do what they came here to do. And once again, I would hope that it's left up to the 3v3 skirmish. Now, in the mid lane, I do think that Feeding Frenzy does have this, at least in the little wins for the first about 7 to 9 levels. I think Feeding Frenzy has this. They just need to look for those opportunities during that time.
With the drafts complete, we are ready for the set today. In this whole lane matchup, Jrox versus Onyx. That is probably the matchup that I'm going to want to see the most. The mid lane matchup, we have Marissa versus StInKyyPPiNkYY. Jungle matchup, Boomer, Hitachi, JakeyJakester, recent new member of this team. In the support matchups, Scotty versus Knight. And in that ADC matchup is going to be Paisley versus Wattlexp. So with that being said, we are ready to get in here. But there's only one question we have to ask, Ground. Who you got winning this game one?
I think in my heart, I really do want Feeding Frenzy to win this game one. I like their level 7 draft. Now, after it gets past that, I don't know. It's just how much of a lead can they get through there, and I really want them to get that lead.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I really do like this Olympians draft, and I think the Feeding Frenzy kind of bought into what Olympians wanted to do in the draft with them, picking an early King Arthur. Like they picked King Arthur into two ways to cancel his main damaging abilities, and to me that's just too much. We're having an opening game pause here, so we've kind of gone over most of everything we can right now, but there's only one thing left to go over, and that's these builds. And the only build that I'm seeing kind of off meta to me right now is the Cupid build. And it's not a big difference. Like, obviously, Cowl's not worse than Bluestone, and Death Toll, it's not that much worse. I just don't know if it gives what you want right now. Going into that trance, I think you just want to go Death Toll.
Yeah, I would prefer the Death Toll in that slot as well, but maybe what he's really thinking is that he's going to have a lot more rotations. He's going to give that movement speed and the attack speed. He's going to get the benefits from being around his team a lot more, and that'll play to an advantage that maybe he sees and we don't. Now, with the ADC role kind of being another solo island, so to speak, and it's necessarily just Farm Simulator 2021, I don't really like the Hunter's Cowl. I think Death Toll gives you a lot more benefit, especially in the late game in comparison. But we'll see how it works out for him. Cupid's one of those gods, man, that it kind of just works with any build you put on him.
I definitely agree there. Upgraded Sunder coming at a Fafnir, no Hog, so he probably loses just a tiny bit of pressure here. But with that being said, Pun Pause is ready. Crowned, we are ready for our first casted set this season between me and you, buddy. Every game last season we casted went the distance.
Except for one. Except for one.
Let's see what happens here. Crown Hound, Hunter on the cast today. Let's make it happen, buddy.
Now, in the mid lane, we kind of went over in a deep dive analysis of what we wanted to see. Now, in this, in the duo lane, like you mentioned earlier, with the upgraded Sunder already picked up, I'm expecting a lot of aggression from this Olympians duo lane, especially in the early game, hoping to maybe capitalize on one of the missed plucks on the Sobek, hit an early Sunder, go for an early First Blood. Would you see the same there?
Yeah, I want to see them focus out the Sobek, though. Cupid can get out of most of the stuff they can bring to the table. I want to see them try to get this Sobek behind, because Sobek behind kind of limits what he wants to do. With that being said, we're going to open up the game in the mid lane, something we talked very deeply about. The opening crush is going to come down very early. It was let off very early. That's fine, though. They still end up with a tiny bit of pressure in the mid lane there.
Yeah, and the junglers both making the rotations about the same time. That's normally how it goes. Eat minion comes through, secures one of those mid harpies. We'll see if the battle continues. Sikkim landed. A little bit of return damage onto the Scylla as well. The mid harpies will be split between both teams. Solo XP going to both junglers there. A lot of poke happening in the mid lane onto Marissa. That crush is so powerful.
One thing to note, though, is that Scylla already didn't get... it's the solo is going to come out. Nice job, Jrox. He's going to pick up Onyx on that one. So it looks like the Ares pick is not even going to be doing too much, as Jrox is going to open up the early lead. Ares did end up going T2 boots and give them the team double kill. Woo-wee! There we go. And nice job there by Paisley. Let's see what they kind of do to pull that back.
So far their mid lane is kind of pulling it back a little bit. I might have spoken too soon. Nope, StInKyyPPiNkYY able to get out pretty safely. But in that solo lane, man, King Arthur is so prevalent on being able to capitalize on any little misstep that you may have. So much damage in that level 3 fight, and King Arthur's able to secure the First Blood. And if this continues, he'll just be that aggressor all game, doing exactly what I wanted him to do. Being able to dive the backline freely, not really worrying about the amount of shutdown that the Ares is able to bring because he'll be too far ahead.
Yeah, one thing I like there too is Jrox went for opening backhands right away. Getting those first backhands out of the jungler's way is a very big thing. It limits the jungler to as much farm as we're going to see a rotation here. A pretty early rotation, that nothing really going to happen there, but I do like that rotation because that opens up for a blue buff invade possibly. The miss pluck's going to come in from Scotty. The miss, the Fafnir stun, so fortunately going to miss this. Cupid's going to play a bit more aggressive. The heart bomb's going to go off. It's going to be a stun. Does Scotty have a dash here? Nice pop up there. Unfortunately, he's going to use his mana, and they're going to let him back up. But I do like this blue buff invade. Nice job there. Very good. Picking up the blue buff right away. Nemesis is going to let the dash out, and
Nope, they secured it. They secured their own blue buff.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Beautiful pluck into the tower, into a Cupid heart bomb. Sobek dropping to about 1 auto attack. Will not be able to be secured. Minions doing a great job at body blocking. MVP goes to the minions. As both supports looking very, very weak on this side, but Cupid sustain able to help out Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's ready here to go back in. Paisley's also more health and level 4. Artemis just hits level 4, which limits them to what they want to do, but that's one thing the Cowl does very early, very well, though, is once you get that attack speed online, you're basically almost better than Bluestone in the sense of the early game, as we see a Nemesis rotation over here. Very late rotation. I do not like this rotation. I think if you're going to rotate, you want to rotate early, and I don't know if dual lane is going to be the lane you want to focus right now.
Well, that gank would have come through earlier if the blue buff invade had not happened on the opposite side of the map. So that's just feeding Frenzy, knowing their timers, saying, hey, Nemesis is over here. You guys can be a little aggressive. Just watch that timing.
Right. Paisley hitting 5 early here. I want to see him use his ultimate very early here. He's still level 5 before the Artemis before the Fafnir is even hit level 4. See if you can kind of pick him off. With him not going beads, he can be pretty easily picked off here.
StInKyyPPiNkYY using the Sentinel to get out of dodge there. Just a kind of an ego ability use from the Bakasura, activating Butcher Blades and StInKyyPPiNkYY not wanting anything to deal with that. We do see Nemesis coming in. Still level 4.
Yeah, Jakey's going to see if he can look for the red buff there. Unfortunately, the red buff was dropped just a tiny bit ago, but he might be looking for a rotation on left. Doesn't look like he is. Looks like everything's... Oh, nice job there. The ultimate's going to be used by Ares, but the Spade Blade's coming in. Jrox picks up 2 solo kills to start off this game. Nice job there. It's Tank Boots Arthur is coming through. The yellow buff is up. I'm not thinking he's going to go for it because he doesn't know the timer, but I think, he definitely does get this blue buff. Nice job there by Jrox to be alarmed. He's going to go for the backhands. Does he go for this yellow buff here?
I don't know if he goes for the speed buff, but I would like to see him go for the XPs as well. Just strip as much farm away from this Nemesis as possible, and that's exactly what he does. I love what he's doing, and it's what you should do in the solo lane. After you get that kill, after you push those minions into that first tower, look for the other things that you can strip away from your team. And what he does there is perfect. I really
I like this early play. I do like this early Greater Scorpion on the gold side of the map too, because with having so much pressure on that gold side, Bakasura behind is not very good. But Bakasura, while having a King Arthur ahead, is a good god. But let's see what happens here.
No, that aggression coming in from Freeding Frenzy and those 2 dive gods that you have in King Arthur and Bakasura is looking very, very good right now. And we're just going to see if they can keep it up. You can't let this Scylla get too far ahead. Already sitting at about a level ahead in mid. And that will continue to rise if this is just going to go unchecked.
I want to see what Scotty does here. With a level up, I want to see him use that level to his advantage. I feel like if Fafnir hits its late game behind, that Fafnir just does less and less. He goes for the pluck there. Unfortunately, it misses. Lots of damage done to Scylla, though. I believe she has dash. Yeah, she is just going to dash away there. But nice job there to get the dash at least. Unfortunately, use your ult, but we have a big rotation hopping on the left side. Paisley's going to use the ultimate. The Field of Love is coming down. The vodka damage coming through also, but nice job there by Artemis to just kind of run away. Unfortunately, Marissa is going to die there to JakeyJakester on the Nemesis. Nice job by Scotty to possibly get the Scylla into tower. It takes 1 tower shot. Not going to be enough, though. Scotty's taking a lot of damage. The 2 ultimates used there, though, so he is going to get away. Unfortunately, loses his mid laner, but it's not the worst trade in the world.
Yeah, they do end up picking up the solo kill in Ares, which was a while ago, to put them at 3 kills. But all in all, that initiation and that play ends in a negative for them. They do lose Marissa for nothing gained. King Arthur does not secure the purple or the blue buff
He
again.
is massive though.
Yeah, but Ares damage, Khan's low damage.
Doesn't get the blue buff there, unfortunately, but he does make both people run away. So yeah, let's see what he can do here.
Pressure means a lot. He'll drop back, get his blue buff, probably push it a couple more waves, and then hit the back to get what I would expect to be a Stone of Gaia.
I don't think he's going to sell it and go back the other way, but Scotty's going to get rooted there. Unfortunately for the Olympians team, not going to pick him up there. See what Itachi does in the jungle. He's been trying to play early game on this Bakasura, which I kind of like. As Jrox, give him another solo kill. This man's a monster right now.
Apparently, I can't leave the solo lane.
I want to go back there, though, as Nemesis. No, I'm playing. Yeah, I mean, Jrox has, I think that comes off kind of what we were saying earlier, though, that backhand skill. It's giving him levels ahead. A level 7 Ares, yes, is nice, but he has no protections right now. He has Sovereignty. Sovereignty is not a bad item. Oh my goodness, dude. Might as well just freaking zoom all the way out to see the whole map, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to, every 2 seconds, I'm just going to swap lanes. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, let's head over to the soul lane here as the cripple's going to come out. Let's see if Jrox can possibly pick up the kill. The Beyblade spins coming down. Nemesis is taking a lot of damage. The stun's coming through, and goodbye, JakeyJakester. Give him 4 kills on the stat sheet.
4 solo kills as well. This man is doing it all. Put this man on a team.
I'm going to take credit for what he's doing. I am but his coach. I'm playing, but no, he's definitely playing really good. That's what I was talking about, though, when I was in the picks and bans. Ares' pick is a good pick in a King Arthur, but if you are going to get left behind like this, that's when Ares just does basically nothing and just becomes an alt bot. Let's see what happens here, though, as a double rotation is going to be made. Lots of damage happening to Jrox. He doesn't have the Stone of Gaia up, so he doesn't have those power spike. The ultimate's going to be used by Ares. It's going to miss. Itachi's going to come through.
And the Bakasura Butcher Blades is chomping through. JakeyJakester able to just outrun that Bakasura, not with a hastened katana online quite yet, as it is a 0 for 0. Does strip 2 XP camps away, though, so he's doing his job perfectly. Beads is expended as well as Ares' ult, so Ares should be looking for another ult here as soon as that cooldown comes back up with a rotation over from the Nemesis. It should be a dead King Arthur at that point, but with the lead that he has, it will take perfection from the Olympians in order to make sure that that does happen. Scotty playing very aggressive. Missed Pluck immediately goes into the ultimate just to buy himself a little bit of time, and the Sunder comes through. I'm a monster. Does connect. Leaves him with 1 HP. Sentinel's gift is used in, and he will die to an auto attack from StInKyyPPiNkYY. The aggression is on. JakeyJakester double dashes in, hits the slice and dice, and Marissa will just walk out of that into the safety of her tier 1. Bakasura is waiting into the wings. What will the Olympians decide to do with this power play they do find themselves on now? 2 ults expended for the life of the support, and we do see Jakey rotating over to the duo lane. And nothing. They'll just go back to farming.
Yeah, I like Scotty opening up the aggression there, though, but I think it's just a bit too much. You know, your team just picked up a pretty big play on the right side, getting a couple ultimates. You know the mid 2v2 ultimates are up. I just don't really like that play coming out of Scotty there. I like that he's trying to open up the map a bit, playing a bit more aggressive, but the only issue is he didn't have Thieves online or anything, so you kind of, your power spike was in the pocket there.
And he will hit the back at level 12 now. This should be a full Stone of Gaia. A second active in the blink is used, debating on what he wants to go next. That should turn into a Shifter's Shield for Jrox. Now, this man is already sitting on Cloud 9. There isn't really much that this Ares can do to him now. Ares is just on damage control at this point. How long can you stifle him? How long can you keep him in the lane so he can't bother the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think personally it might be a Glad Shield. I just kind of like what the extra damage of Glad Shield brings. I do like Shifter Shield pickup, but I don't know if it's kind of... I guess in this comp, maybe a Shifter Shield is a tiny bit better, but I just like the extra damage of Glad Shield, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if there's much you can do about Jrox, but I think there's a lot you can do about the Cupid. I do like them. I would like them seeing rotating to the Cupid a bit more. Jrox on this King Arthur, you pick Ares to slow down King Arthur. You never pick Ares to win the lane against Arthur, so I think he just has to see what he can do, like keep him healthy. But we're going to see another blue buff invade. The chains are going to be missed, so Jrox can basically do what he wants, and he is going to do that. He does not get the blue buff, unfortunately. He needs to try to get those blue buffs a bit more, but here comes a bigger rotation from Fafnir. A lot of rotations happening here, making a 3-man, as Jrox is still trying to do his best, waiting for his team to possibly rotate over. The Fafnir ult is going to be used here. Let's see what can happen. The bees are going to melt. The big ultimate's going to be used. Let's see what happens here. The Ares ult is going to be used. Jrox is going to beat it. Doesn't get the guy out of proc, unfortunately, but he is still trying to do his best, seeing if he can pick up a kill. His team is going for the Gold Fury, though, in left. They do get the Gold Fury. That is going to go down to the Feeding Frenzy. They lose Jrox for it, but that is not a bad trade, but unfortunately you do lose it with Jrox being on a killing spree. So the shutdown gold was given.
So, I mean, a little bit of gold is mitigated there with the shutdown that you are able to get. It's just a good call from Feeding Frenzy, and I know Jrox is in the comments going, guys, I have 3, go for gold. Guys, I have 3 people, go for Gold Fury. That is the entire comms that you need, and he does his job. He just keeps 3 people over there for as long as he can, and that was a good 20 seconds of just a 1v3 that Jrox was able to bring. So good capitalization from the Feeding Frenzy. They do get a lot of pressure on that dual lane tower as well. StInKyyPPiNkY able to get at least a return kill in Scottyhope for the consolation prize for losing the Gold Fury there.
The only thing I don't like about what Jrox did there is he stayed way too long. I think he could have almost easily got out of that, honestly. I do like that he kind of kept them there, but I honestly think the Gold Fury was kind of like a Jrox. He backs up a bit and kind of plays more in his jungle rather than, playing more around his tower and stuff like that. I think that would be a much better play. He does get, his team does get the Gold Fury, so it's not the worst thing in the world. I just think that would have been much better because I think you don't want to throw your lead to, per se, being that far ahead. Ares ult is going to come out. Unfortunately, it's going to be missed, but Itachi's going to come down. The Butcher Blades are going to just shred that man. Goodbye, Onyx. Give the kill to Itachi.
And now the Nemesis is kind of caught in no man's land. Does secure the blue buff, so it does get the XP and gold for that. Sitting at level 12, level behind Itachi now. A lot of aggressive words coming out for Feeding Frenzy as the Pyromancer is started. Will ConjurationNite wrap around?
Yeah, Itachi has been leveling that Butcher Blade. It's doing 70 damage, so it is at max ranks already. Nice job there. That's really good to see. As the Pyromancer is going to go down. Feeding Frenzy are 2-0 on the objective charts right now.
They are, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. They do have a lead that they have built pretty well for themselves. As Marissa gets caught out once again, the creep, or the... what is that? Horrific Emblem, not Creeping Curse anymore, does come through. Pluck lands onto ConjurationNite, drops about a quarter of his HP off. Sikkim does miss, but ult is used. ConjurationNite lands the stun onto Scottyhope, forces the ult out of him. Itachi has made his rotation in. ConjurationNite is the target, and ConjurationNite does go down as JakeyJakester is in between a rock and a hard place. The rock, of course, being Jrox, as he is making his will known. Into the tower they go. Into 1 they do get, and the ult will secure 3. 3 do die in the hopes of 1, as this mid tower should be all but secured.
Yeah, and Onyx is going to try to look for a rotation here. I do like this play. Maybe he can pick up a kill or 2. Doesn't look like Jrox is going to take the tower from Marissa, but unfortunately Marissa is going to get picked there. Maybe the T1 was just a bit too much after that fight.
Caster scarce.
Yep. Jrox is 6-1 though, so he is playing his game. Let's see what he can do here, actually, as Onyx is in the middle of a wave.
And that is something about Ares. As soon as he uses those chains and the flames, you know there's nothing more that he can do to you.
Oh, nice switch over there as Paisley's going to pick up the solo kill on WattleXp. Paisley is big right now.
Yo, I'm getting used to it again. We're good. I got the spectator fingers working now.
Yeah, nice job there. As Paisley, we've been talking about Jrox and how big he's been. Paisley's 3 levels up. 3 levels up. That is nothing to frown upon. I want to see him possibly going into a Wind Demon next item and go for an early game fire.
I think the early game fire is definitely in the hands or the cards, so to speak, for this Feeding Frenzy team. With how far ahead that the King Arthur is, I mean, we saw him 1v3 for 20 seconds. He can keep that entire team zoned long enough for you to get an objective. It's just a matter of making sure the manpower is over there for you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I want everyone to just look at that player damage chart, though. I'm not really looking specifically at Jrox being at the top. I'm looking specifically at the whole chart. And what I mean by that is, Fading Frenzy have been farming. They've been prioritizing farm. They are 6K gold up on this Olympians team. This needs to be how teams needs to play more often. Fighting is fun. Farming wins games. Try to play like this.
Ult from Bakasura, and oh my god, goodbye, Stinky. The ult forced out of the Fafnir. We'll just dive back. I do think that the Only Fury is their main priority now as they're making the rotation over into it, placing a lot of aggressive wards, making sure the manpower is there to show face, and the Only Fury should be spawning any moment. I don't think there is anything that this Olympians team can do.
Yeah, Paisley does have the Executioner online, so he's just shredding this thing. 265 and auto from him. That is going to go down. The Oni Fury is going to be play, but here, fire started here. This is a really weird play. One thing I'm going to say, Jakey, I do like the build of going Stone Cutting into Executioner, but I think Mannequin Scepter got to be the play there. If you have Mannequin Scepter here, this fire is so easy, so easy. Unfortunately, he's taking a lot of damage. He's going back and out of the pools. The fire is low, but here comes the big man. Jrox is in the building, and he is not going to let you get that fire for free. He's going to use the big ultimate coming down. Marissa's going to pick up WattleXp. Jrox is going to pick up Onyx with an auto. And boys, the fire giant is oh, we got JakeyJakester going right in the middle of this Feeding Frenzy team. The fire giant's going to come down. Give it to the Olympian. StInKyyPPiNkY. He's going to pick up the kill on Scotty in return. Also, big plays there by StInKyyPPiNkY on that Sill.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's the only one that secures it. And at that point, you're not thinking, okay, I want this for the team. You're like, I don't want them to get this. And that's good job on StInKyyPPiNkY to be able to secure the fire, pick up a kill in the process. But all in all, I don't know if the fire play was the right play there.
I think that was... I like the call. I don't know if it's the right play, but I like the call, but they have to commit to it. They have to commit to it. I understand, like, you want to go fire and stuff like that. All 5-year members have to be on board, and honestly, with Jakey opening up the tank there, he got popped up and took, like, 3/4, half health from the fire giant. If he didn't do that, I honestly think they get it pretty easily. I think, personally, they were all questioning it, though.
And sorry, while we were all focused on that fire giant, my man Paisley over here just goes, all right, I'll just go ahead and get your Phoenix for free. Thanks, boys.
But that's what you do. Like,
that poor bird.
Pretty insane.
Now going into now transitioning into the late game of our game 1 here, what do you want the Olympians to do to kind of stifle what Feeding Frenzy has built up until this point?
Playing together. They haven't took a 5v5 fight this game, and they need to start doing that if they're going to try to win. They have a Scylla, a Fafnir, and a Ares. Even an Artemis can be brought into this. I want to see them use their abilities together. Jrox has been running free in their backline. Paisley has literally pretty much just been farming left. I don't even think he wasn't there for the firefight. They need to start 5v5 fighting to even have a whole as Scotty, bro. Scotty.
I love how Onyx just stood there and goes, yeah, no, we all just saw what happened. You wallow in shame, sir.
To be completely honest, I don't know if there's much they can do. Itachi was supposed to be their late game pull through, and I'm pretty sure this man could just kind of set down his keyboard and they still kind of win this. But yeah, as that being said, a fight's going to be started. Artemis is going to be picked. WattleXp is going to be good night.
And Scylla's still the only one with fire, and that's the one that they have to protect. Diamond Monster comes out early, does hit Paisley, but only does about a quarter HP. Flip comes through on the ConjurationNite. Sikkim does miss. Crush is all that is up, and will land on top of 3. Ares ult, able to be secured onto Itachi, forces the ult out as well. Cupid ult is dropped, and we do have, is this stasis mode?
Yeah, the stream is lagging a bit. The stream is very behind right now. Crownhound's internet is
hey, no. We checked the internet before I started this, and we were getting like 20 upload and like 900 download. It's not my internet. It is Smite servers, okay?
Smite servers stop the stream too?
Yep. I blame it all on Smite. You have to.
All right, don't do that though. As we have a big play coming here from Jrox, going straight to the back line. He's going to pick this up. We are going to come down, and we have some big boy plays, as Sunder unfortunately is going to be missed there. Jrox is going to go straight back to the backline. StInKyyPPiNkY is going to pick him up, though. The Bakasura is being massive right now, though, as he went straight to the backline. Marissa is going to pick up combo, unfortunately not going to go down, as we are going to see another Phoenix fall down, and the Olympians are down 2 Phoenixes.
No, and the frontliners did exactly what they needed to do. They bought time for their carries to get everything else off of the board. Jrox playing his role to perfection with the lead that he has. Pridwin already finished almost at full build. Only needs to upgrade those relics and sell those boots. He dives in, keeps 3 of them occupied. Meanwhile, Cupid and Discordia are just able to free reign into that Phoenix. Now you have 2 Phoenixes down. One's about to spawn in about a minute. But that is something.
The only problem I'm seeing with Jrox's gameplay here is I think he's not playing like that bad, but he's diving too hard. He needs to like ease up a bit. He's a big boy. Like he's gonna take a lot of hits, but I think personally he just needs to stop diving too hard. He's taken 2 deaths that don't really need to happen. So I do like his kind of aggression that he's having towards the backline, but I think he just needs to ease up a bit and make sure you just peel and get out, or peel and take a fight. I don't think he needs to try to get kills by himself, as we're going to see a Gold Fury be brought up here as, like kind of like what I brought up. I do like Paisley going into crit here, as he's going to open up with the Wind Demon. No Spectrals are picked up.
What I would like for him to do is just sell the Hunter's Cowl and go straight into a Deathbringer, and then sell your boots and capitalize with like a Keen Size on top of his build already. Because if you're able to do that, you maximize on the attack speed and the crit in your build. And I think that's a very good high damage way for him to cap that. I don't think the Hunter's Mark is doing much for you at this point, and I think it's better just to sell that and get a full item.
Yeah, I think he might have maybe not had enough gold for Deathbringer, so I think Hunter's Call is going to do more than like a tier 2 crit item. So I almost want to see him have a full back here with the Deathbringer rather than try and get the T2 right away. So maybe like mark that gold base is down in your head. But that being said, the Fire Giant is going to be sorted for the Feeding Frenzy side. We are 23 minutes in this game. It's not going to be FG. The Frenzy is going to be used. I don't know if that was really needed, but it's going to fall, and the Feeding Frenzy are going to pick up the Fire Giant, and they are ready to go in even further. Jrox is going to do half that Silas health with like 2 abilities. So he is just massive this game. Let's see what they do here, though, as Itachi and Scotty are going to run through the jungle here and pick up the right tower here. Yeah, they go Phoenix here. I want to see them split, possibly Itachi going to left, because it does look like that's going to be the play. Because Bakasura versus Nemesis, I don't know if I would send Nemesis over there in particular. Like, I think Nemesis stays back in this right side Phoenix, and you try to pick up like a 4v5. Scotty's going to be taking a lot of damage before the fight opens up, though. He's going to be half health, and with that being said, it does look like this Feeding Frenzy team is going to get initiated on. Though I'm a Monster is going to come through. Unfortunately, he's going to miss. The Field of Love is going to come through. There goes the Golden Apple of Disco. It's going to be, unfortunately, not connect with multiple people. Scotty's going to be picked up early in this fight. They are backing up, but they still have a lot of damage. But with that being said, Itachi is still in that left Phoenix. Jrox is causing havoc right now. Got 4 people on top of him, and boy, he is not feeling them, as now he is going to Beyblade out of there. But Artemis Ult's going to come through. They're still looking to aggress, possibly. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen off that, though. Paisley could look into dash in here, possibly. No. That's just kind of my mindset. And
they did exactly what you wanted them to do. They took the 4v5. They did only get 1 pick out of it, and they still lost a Phoenix. I don't know if there's much that this Olympians 2 can to mitigate what Feeding Frenzy is doing. They played that really well. Scotty took the blunt of the damage, which is his job. And they're not too worried about sending their support in to die for a Phoenix on the left-hand side. That is a play in their book that they are completely fine with. They're keeping the aggression on the base. Their Titan is already sitting at about 60% HP, and that's all due to minions. They are fine with taking these fights and doing exactly what you're giving them.
Yeah, I think the only thing I don't like seeing right here is finishing the Hunter's Cowl. Or the Leader's Cowl. Leader's Cowl is going to be...
No, it's Hunter's Cowl.
Okay, well, that shows you how much ADC I've played recently. But the only thing I do like about this going is your Bakasura possibly could get the aura. Now, I don't know if that's worth it, but I'm saying, like, giving your team that attack speed aura might be more worth it going for the Titan and stuff like that. because you can't crit the Titan, right? So that's the only way I do like this, as the puck is going to come through. A lot of damage is going to be done to Onyx. He's going to be popped up, thrown around, as Paisley's going to dash right straight to the back line. The Ares ult is going to come through. The Nemesis ult's going to come through also early. Give the kill to Itachi. He's going to pick off StInKyyPPiNkY. The Fafnir ult's going to be used for heal. He does get JakeyJakester out of there. Itachi's taking a lot of damage, going straight to the back line. Onyx is going to be picked up. Brought up as JakeyJakester. He's going to fall. The Pridwin proc is going to be had, and it's going to pop right on that Fafnir. So the 20% slow is going to be brought to that Fafnir, as he's going to be brought down. I'm sorry, Discord's lagging like crazy. But the Titan's going to go down. The Titan's going to go down and give the game one, defeating friends.
Yes, no, Jrox, man, he was their bridge, and they walked right over it. Everything that he built in that game, they were able to capitalize off of. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning during picks and bans. If King Arthur is able to get ahead, and he's able to have free reign in your back line, it is going to open up the dives for this team, and it opened up the Bakasura so much that he just went unchecked. There was nothing you could even do about it. And Beating Frenzy, I think, played their draft to perfection that game.
Yeah, I mean, they did exactly. They could basically do everything they wanted, though. Like, yeah, the draft was good and stuff like that, but they could basically do whatever they wanted.
And StInKyyPPiNkY did his best. I mean, that in that last fight, the Imo monster is barely off. I think if he hits that, it does kind of warp the team fight at least a little bit. But Bakasura diving on top of you and having free reign in order to do whatever he wants to do, it's a lot to deal with, especially if you're just a tiny little monster girl. But with that being said, I do believe that MVP goes to Jrox in that first game. I mean, it was all Jrox from start to finish. He got first blood, and he just continued to run with it the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, I like what he did there as kind of transitioned to more of a backcamp skill that game, which is something that I've been trying to put into his head for months now, as like we did there.
All right, let me let them know that we are ready for game 2.
Skillsy, I do look at chat, just not when I'm casting.
Alrighty. All right. Chat, let's have a little conversation. How are you guys doing today? How's your weekend been? How's your week been? Talk to me, my pretties. Talk to me.
Yeah, they say we don't look at chat, but they don't say anything for us to say.
Skillsy, I've literally been staring at chat while casting. I look at it at least every 5 seconds, but you guys are having conversation in between yourselves. You guys didn't ask me anything. You guys didn't do nothing. Calm it with it.
Yo, Joe, I got one thing to say, though.
Chewbacca's a better support than you are.
I don't get any more, Skillsy. Well, we all know that's not true, because you love me. You can say it all.
Feline, I have to care about you, dude. You're the Oregoner. If I don't care about you, then
we're protesting.
Don't worry. I already messaged Jrox about him not building transcendence.
These casters, they should be the SPL. Okay, I see it. I see it. Don't act like you care about us now. Look, Feline, chill. Y'all need to calm down just a bit. All right? Hunter doesn't stop talking for him to be able to read chat.
Just because he said that, I'll be right back.
Wing game. Wing game. I love winging games. Barbecue wings. Barbecue wings all the way. Who likes blue cheese? Mac, no. No one likes blue cheese. Men and women? Nah, dude, ranch is better. Ranch is the better condiment. You guys are skinny or something if you don't like blue cheese. Nah, dude. Ranch is the better topping for like pizza, for instance. Ranch takes the cake. Wings, ranch takes the cake. Like, even if you have like flavored chicken fingers, ranch is king. Ranch is just better. That Midwest lifestyle. Stinky, where'd you go? I can't spectate you now. Accept that, Jrox, so I can spectate you. Unfriend a random person. All right, where's Jrox? So I can spectate things. Oh, is Boa's playing now? Yeah, you don't see you on that on the friends list because I don't know you, homie. Let's play a couple games.
Yep. Crown House polling as always.
You know, is Boaz playing this game? Somebody that knows?
I don't think you. Expected like Jrox or Paisley. Wattlexp.
I don't know how to spell their names though. That's the problem.
On yours, bro. If you can't spell a 4-letter word,
Is it just Jrox or is there anything else? Well,
it's on your screen,
bruh. I sent him the friend request.
Do you still want help?
I mean, we don't need it at this point.
Okay.
Maybe from you, baby girl. I'll play.
I just saw the message. I'm like, I'm gonna go pop it.
I need
Alright, well,
help.
Have fun.
You got that? Yo. Alright. I'm gonna start something here. So Feline. If Feeding Frenzy wins this game in under 25 minutes, you gotta start a raid. You gotta sub. You gotta sub to the channel.
Is that how you spell your name? Or is it one R and two F?
It's... I haven't found it. Good question. Because I know they're going to. Who did you expect it last game?
StInKyyPPiNkYY.
Why can't you do it again?
Okay, can the actual thing work now, please? Friends list?
Capital J, I think? Wow.
How is there no spectate thing here?
There it is, Feline.
Failed to find player for spectating. Great. Beautiful. How do you spell Paisley's name?
Good question.
Marissa's name, or anybody.
Alright. Pasley 12. Ley. You don't put it in brackets.
Yeah, you do. You can. Is that just it? Is it just Paisley?
12.
12.
I think you... I don't know. It's dash spectate. Dash spectate, and then just type in his name. No, don't. Not player.
Okay.
Then Jrox. Capital Jrox. Wow, dude.
They've changed so much.
This man hates me right now. Paisley isn't playing game 2. Well, there, that's a good thing we're...
Lord.
Oh, yeah. SPL of a cast. Oh.
All right. Well.
Well.
Nailed it. We did just get here as the game started, so perfect timing. Anyway. Boas was playing. Who lied to me? We would have been here like 5 minutes earlier. Oh my god, I hate you all. Somebody was like, no, he's not playing. He's not playing. Crazy people.
Oh, yeah. That's my boy. Well, Olympians win this game, dude. Loki's in the game. Oh, come on, Jrox. You got this, bro. I'm playing. I can't be biased.
Anyway, getting into the game, we have Feeding Frenzy once again running it back with the King Arthur and the Sobek. Beautiful front line that we saw last game. We'll see if they have the same success with it. Change Big P now stepping into the mid lane as the Poseidon and Marissa rotating back over to the duo lane with the Izanami and Itachi bringing in the Tsukiyomi for the jungle. And on the opposite side for the Olympians, Boa is coming in for the middle lane Janice along with JakeyJakester as the jungle Loki. We have Kokolin for Onyx and making up the duo lane ConjurationNite once again on the Fafnir with Wattlexp as the Medusa, as Jrox once again finds first blood. Is there a first blood counter?
Where's Kokolin, dude? I don't see him. I'm playing.
Oh, I need to update this. Hold on. I'm an amazing spectator.
Yep, SPL love the spectating. Yep.
There we go. Nailed it.
To be fair, I'm not playing MOB this time, so that's a positive. Oh, the big pressure coming here in the duel lane. Marissa and Scotty back together again. Since their, I believe it was season 7 championship or 6. I don't know.
Loki is here. They do hear the invis go. A lot of damage coming through onto Scotty. Will he find the dash out? Yes, he does. Dash comes through on Medusa as well. Does land the acid spray, but it is not enough. As Scotty's able to get to safety.
Nice job by the Shuki, only showing the enemy blue buff there on the right side. He can plays on the right side while Loki's on the left side. I really like that.
You can't evade your path.
Beating Frenzy once again starting off pretty hot due to Jrox over there in the solo lane. We'll see if they're able to ride his success once again, capitalizing on all of the just dives that he is able to do. Scottyhope does get stunned out before the waves even meet. But not to worry, Izanami is a clear master because her autos are the most infuriating thing in this entire game.
Second most infuriating thing, actually. Don't ask what the first is, because I have no idea.
Just the entire god of Vamana.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Jrox has a pretty good fight here. Nice job getting the ultimate out early. Unfortunately, oh, the ultimate like glitched a bit. But he doesn't have rage form though, so he is going to get it now. Oh, mechanics diff right there. But he still picks up the solo kill. Nice job there by Jrox. Picking up the solo. Jrox, I'd rather see the Transcendence this game, my boy.
Just whenever I see two icons over there in the solo lane, I'm just gonna spectate Jrox. And that should be a dead Fafnir. Nope. What are you doing, Scotty?
Bro, Scotty wants it. Oh, no, dude. Feeding Frenzy all up the same mechanical level right now. That is not very good. Goodbye, Itachi.
And they give 2 kills over to Waddle. Now has ult. This is the Janus ult is coming through as well. Loki is here. Marissa's completely out of mana. As Jakey will be able to secure that with the Vanish dot damage and whatever the cone attack is called because they've changed it like 4 times.
Bro, Feline must be coaching this duel lane, dude. They're playing like him. I'm playing though. I love you, Feline. But we have, yeah, Jrox getting another blue buff. Nice job there.
And Kukulkan is really one of those characters in solo that you don't really mind losing a blue buff. It's not going to change your life a whole hell of a lot, but it is XP and gold that is going to the other side, so. Oh my lord, that wasn't even the double damage overhand. That was just...
King Arthur.
Yeah, King Arthur is the character in this game.
I better see Transcendence out of Jrox's game. Nobody gets that joke.
Double ults from the supports. They are used as Loki is around. Man, Scotty's just walking into things. This man does not care. All right, bro. Come on, Jrox.
Give us some time, bro. Bro, somebody stole Jrox's cookies. Well, I swear. I like to see it. This is how Jrox should play for this team. He needs to play a lot more aggressive.
Who talked bad about Jrox's mama? Because this man's on a vendetta.
I'm just gonna hide in the corner as he said. I'm just saying he better build Transcendence this game. There's one thing I want to see this beautiful human do is build Transcendence. That's the only thing I want to see him do in life. Oh, we have big damage here. Yeah, coming out of the mid lane here. As Fafnir did unfortunately die to Jakey, or Itachi, sorry. But here comes King Arthur around the back. Can he do something here? So we have some damage coming down on the red buff. Loki's going to not pick it up. Nice job there by Feeding Frenzy to pick up that red buff? Yellow buff? Blue? No,
red buff. It's red. It is red in color.
Hopefully.
And the gold side Scorpion will go down in a blink and you'll miss it type of fashion. Ton of damage dumped into it, and the enhanced buffs will come through on the side of Feeding Frenzy.
Give me a moment. I'll message Jrox to tell him to build Transcendence. Build Trans.
Yeah, that's insider help. You can't do that.
I mean, telling them to build inside is it really insider help? Does building Transcendence King Arthur really help?
I mean, yeah. Do you want him to just like insta kill everybody with one ability?
That'd be pretty fun to watch.
By the way, that is exactly what I do when I play King Arthur Jungle. Is just build Transcendence.
Yeah, just put Transcendence Eye of the Jungle.
Oh my lord, Big B with the giant Kraken coming through. Completely annihilates Loki in. Once again, a blink and you'll miss it type of fashion.
Well, that being said, Scotty is going to look to play a bit more aggressive here. Nice job. He's going to use the ult. Onyx is going to use the ultimate. He's not going to use it to go through the wall, so he might be picked up here. Doesn't look like he is. The portal's going to come through. But here comes Itachi. He's going straight to the ultimate. Oh, it does connect. Nice job there. Does he get the stun out? No, he doesn't. Does he hit the one? Yes, he does. He doesn't hit the second part of the one, though, so he possibly could be picked up. But here comes the whirlpool coming down. Big P. Or here comes Jrox down to that side. Here he comes.
Oh.
Okay, Jrox, we won't talk about it. But that being said, he's going to pick up the kill on Sandbows, and he's possibly going to pick up one more. Nice job there. He could be doing some more here. He is level 11. Give him the rampage. But that being said, Loki ult's going to come through. Itachi's going to be picked up. Jrox is still firing on all cylinders right now as the damage is coming through. He does use the cripple, so Kukon can dash for a moment, but he doesn't get a dash now. He still has the Glad Shield, so the Glad Shield is talking on every ability that he's using. Discord's lagging for a moment, but he's still alive. But here comes Big P through the jungle. He's gonna pick. He's not. Discord's lagging like crazy, but
And Wattlexp is making the rotation over and just shows face, allows Onyx to run away without any contention. Presence means everything, but Jrox still making his presence felt. Picks up 2 kills or 1 kill, sorry, and is able to allow the Loki to be picked up by Big P there as well. 3-0-1 from your mid lane Poseidon and 5-1-1. Out of your solo lane King Arthur. This man is right back to where we left off in last game.
yeah, but he doesn't have Transcendence, so
Someone needs to take Mac's keyboard away from him.
I agree. Can we all if we get 3 subs, I will fly to wherever Max lives and throw 2 work. Nice play there by Itachi to pick up the kill. Almost gets picked up by the decoy damage.
And they do secure the Scorpion as well, as Jrox is just making his presence felt once again. Giannis, not the easiest character to track, but he's doing a pretty damn good job. But it does pick it up with the regular ult. The stun will secure as 2 kills go into the side of Feeding Frenzy. 12-7 now as ConjurationNite does land the stun. Does get the buff off on both him and Kokolin as Kraken is used. Big 8-point anime slash is used as well. Jrox picks up 2. 7-1-2. And they will go back their separate ways. Mid tower and Gold Fury now looking like the objectives for this Feeding Frenzy team. Is the Medusa ult hits 2, gets 1. Izanami ult does secure the gold as well, but not before damage is done. Wattlexp is able to get 2 on the backhand. Loki is here, but not before it's stifled by the rotation by the Tsukiyomi as well. And still on the chase is Itachi. Beads are forced, and Vanish will get him out. Gold Fury picked up, but not before 2 kills are also dropped. I like where Feeding Frenzy's heads were at with that play. Just probably a little bit ambitious with just the 2 of them at 10 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely do like them playing a bit more aggressive, but yeah, I agree with you there. In 10 minutes, they're up 4k gold once again. As Jrox is going to take the solo lane fight, and he's going to pick him up before the rage comes through, but the rage is going to come through after he's done picking him up. The push is going to come through. Jrox still has a bunch of abilities up. The Beyblade spins coming down right here. Come on, the Beyblade. Somebody tell this man a Beyblade.
Oh,
He doesn't need
my
Beyblade! Jesus! Oh, we get
Lord.
sniped. Oh, that would have been great. But Onyx is still have a lot of pressure here. He's running at him, and so here comes Sambo's out of the jungle. Sambo's is going to look to do some big Damahes here as he's going to pick him up there. Jrox is going to get picked up there, and just a tiny bit too far pushed.
It does pick up the Loki, though, with a rotation. Just the amount of damage King Arthur is able to do, sitting at level 14 in comparison to Loki's level 5 or level 11, sorry. Just woof. That is an oof moment. This Pyromancer, now in the eyes of Feeding Frenzy.
Yep, and Pyromancer is going to be the next thing on the line, as they are going to pick it up there. Nice job.
Now let's talk about some things in the jungle specifically with ability-based junglers, not necessarily a Bakasura, but for instance Loki, Tsukiyomi. Do you like the Transcendence rush on the characters like that since they reduce the gold or the price of Transcendence?
I think on Loki, no. I think about Loki like a mid early game god, and that's gonna sound really weird saying that, but like he does a lot of damage. Like his 3+ crusher is like really OP. I actually ran a Loki earlier today in the set, and I rushed. I believe I want to say it was Crusher. I'm pretty sure Crusher or Jotun. I personally like transfers done him. I don't know if it's a good thing on Loki because of the fact that you're looking to fight a bit more in the early game. So I'm gonna probably have to say no on the Transcendence, even with the like price reduction. I don't even think it's like that much worth it because you take yourself out of the game for basically like you take an item into the game for a tiny bit. I do think Trans like maybe 3rd or 4th item might be a bit better, but even then, like I wouldn't build it on Loki. I just don't think he kind of has a place for it in his build right now. I really want to see like a Hydras or something like that. With that being said, we have a big fight going on here as Discord is now lagging. But JakeyJakester is going to pick up Scotty. Big P is going to fall to Medusa. There's 2 on the back line, and they already shredded them. But Jrox is going to be right in the middle of the whole fight there as he positively is going to look to pick up 1. I cannot see. Discord's lagging. But he's going to pick up 1 there, and they're going to have a big return here. As here comes Marissa. She unfortunately doesn't have the crit yet, so she doesn't do a lot. Aegis is the air. I like that. But with that being said, the ult's going to come through from Medusa and pick up Marissa. And Jrox is going to be under attack, taking a lot of damage here. Can he possibly get out? Discord's still lagging. I cannot see. I'm assuming he's dead.
He is dead. It's a beautiful fight, evening up the kills and pretty much making the gold deficit nigh recognizable. Olympians come back into it. And Boas was looking for a red buff invade there. Thinks the best of it. Just going to go back towards his side and go ahead and back in the comfort of the Gold Fury pit. Now, Feeding Frenzy drops a really big team fight there. What do you think went wrong for him?
They fought without their full team there. They were trying to get like very big egos there in that fight, and that's really something that can't happen for the team. I think if they kind of ease back a bit and just kind of play for the farm. Like, they haven't farmed enough this game at all, and I think they need to farm a bit more because their leads that they had in the early game are not really leads right now because they just haven't farmed.
Go Waddle from Valkyrios.
Oh, now you're looking at chat. Okay.
Look, like I said, I've been looking at chat the entire time, but if they want acknowledgement, I'll just start reading stuff.
Are you hear this guy?
Do you hear this guy? That's how you
sound. Scrappy, I agree. Don't worry, Scrappy. No, his internet's fine, dude.
Look, I'm telling you, 5 minutes before I started this, we did a speed test and it wasn't an issue.
I think your cat unplugged your internet, dude. You're running off data.
My cats can't even get to my router.
Cats can do everything they put their mind to.
Nah, they can't even. I guarantee you, they can't even get to it. It is cat proof.
Oh. No, I'm good. Yeah, with that being said, Feeding Frenzy did look to pull the gold fear there. Unfortunately, they had to drop it due to a bunch of people rotating over. But, like, even you bring up the stacking items and stuff like that, like, Marissa still has 65 stacks on her Devos. Like, I feel like if you're going to want to fight, like, if you're going to want to take a fight, you have to get that Devos fully stacked and get her back into this game. She's very low on gold. She actually is one of the highest gold per minute, but I think she needs to maybe even like back. I don't even know if she has power spike or anything like that. With that being said, Phoenix Frenzy's going to pick up the gold trade. Scotty's going to get sniped. Chris Kyle style, or whatever.
Chris Kyle style.
Well, that being said, the ultimate's going to come through on Jrox. Can he get out here? He does have a lot of defense, but he is always running like a Sonic on a racetrack. But with that being said, he is going to be picked up here, and big damage is going to come in as the return. The big return as 3 people are caught behind the tower of this team. But Marissa is under attack, taking a lot of damage there. Anything can happen here. Let's see what happens. Marissa's getting a lot of damage off, like half health. Sambo is, unfortunately, the unstable vortex is going to connect with her, but she still has a pretty big play. Tries to wall through the map as Sambo, and I really want to see Jrox pick up Transcendence for his final item, man.
Don't think that's going to happen. As the enhanced red buff is stripped away, that will go to Sandbows in the mid. Level 15 Janice sitting at 3 and 3, even across the board. Fully stocked Karens. He's looking really solid in this mid lane for them so far. It's a bit of a divulgence from the Scylla that we saw last game from StInKy. But I do believe that this playstyle works best for them. The high rotation, able to just show up to fights whenever he needs to. I think it's really working for this Olympians team in order to counteract what Feeding Frenzy wanted to do after that Game 1 victory. Hunter? Buddy?
I'll just play an MLB, don't mind me. I'm kidding. Oh, okay, they win the game. Total went down. But they got fire here. If you didn't know, they actually added a new buff to Smite where Totem gets 15% increased damage to objectives.
I don't know if you're lying to me. That sounds like a lie.
Imagine that was true, though. They just two-shot the fire giant or something like that. But with that being said, yeah, the one thing I'm going to say about this is I really don't like Marissa going Windy with third item. She's not really using it a lot. Like, I feel like if you're going to go crit, you have to play more laning phase base and just farm. Just farm, you know? Like, yeah. But with that being said, I think maybe in the late game teamfights, that's why she hasn't done it as much. They're going to elect to go for a late fire call here, which is very weird. Scotty's going to be taking Scottyhope is going to be taking a lot of damage. Jrox is going to look to get some poke on Onyx there. I kind of like that before this fight. Let's see if that can evaluate anything. But they only have 4 people here.
If King Arthur uses the knockup into Onyx with the Stone of Gaia already built, you're just gonna heal him up to full. So I don't want to see any aggression onto the Kokolin until you get the rest of the carries out. I think right now Waddle and Sambos need to be your high priority targets. As the
but Onyx is going to go straight to the back line. Big P and Jrox are going to be both popped up by that, but with that being said, he is still going. Give the kill to Onyx. He's going to pick up Big P. The Onyx is going to come straight in behind. JakeyJakester is going to pick up the kill there. Jrox is going to be picked up by Wattlexp. Big damage coming down to Itachi. He's going to be picked up too, and Marissa is going to be killed by Onyx, possibly. Yes, he is. The Rage AoE is going to pick her up there, but that is not the fight you want to see if you're Feeding Frenzy. They waited way too long to try to do something there, and even personally, I don't think they should have tried to do something.
Yeah, no, a solid, clean sweep from the Olympians with 5-4-0 and the Fire Giant. And that'll be all she wrote for that engagement. Olympians now are sitting in the driver's seat the first time in this set, 21 minutes into it. And they'll go ahead and capitalize on getting this right-hand solo tower, tier 2. And it will go down fairly quickly as all 5 members pouring all their attention into it. I would like to see just a back from them, spend the gold that they got, regroup, and just shove it down that mid side. Or even possibly just focus on those other tier 2s that you have left on the board. Get those tier 2s off, and then you can think about a siege or a Phoenix siege. But even if you give those 2 towers, you can call this fire a win. Get those tier towers off the board, kind of play the waiting game until the fire giant respawns. Take the fight like you did there as well, and then you can capitalize on the fire, and then go for the Phoenix sieges after that.
Yeah, I definitely like to play, or like what you're saying there. I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, so I don't know. Like to me, Big P maybe want to pick up like a Telekine's ring even in the last item. Like I don't know how you kind of feel about that, but
I don't think that fits into what he is meant to do in their fight right now. He's meant to drop a Kraken onto 3 people, whoever they get in just the blender of abilities that they have. He's meant to just drop the Kraken and do as much damage as possible. I would like to see his build cap off with a Soul Reaver. I think that'll benefit what he is trying to do in this team a hell of a lot more than a Telekine's ring would. As Olympians secures the Gold Fury, their gold lead now stretched up to about 6,500 as the fight breaks out. Sobek Gold is forced. ConjurationNite is in the back. Jrox drops down to half health. Janus ult does come through, misses all of them, but gives a portal into 2. As Jrox is being shaked out by JakeyJakester. A lot of damage coming through. ConjurationNite hits the stun over the wall, but it will not lead to anything as Scottyhope is being left out to the wolves. As Boas will secure that kill, and the tier 2 over on duo side is now going to fall.
yeah, I really don't know why Feeding Frenzy are trying to take fights right now. They're so far behind. They're so far behind. Like they're like Marissa's tickling their frontliners and stuff like that. Like they need to focus on farming up a bit more and start playing more as a group here. It's the same thing I said about Olympians last game. They need to start using their abilities together. You talked about the 3-man Krakens that need to start happening, but every time those 3-man Krakens happen, the team isn't in a position to do anything off the 3-man Krakens and stuff like that. So I think they need to position up a bit better and focus on trying to win these fights rather than focusing on just trying to have an ego and taking fights for no reason. But with that being said, they have a really good initiation here. Jrox goes straight to the back line. The Stone and Gaia is not going to proc off that. Onyx is going straight. Just pick off Onyx. There we go. Nice job there by Jrox to pick him up. As the Pridwin proc is going to come through as big damage happening. This is a very wonky fight. As Marissa is going to be picking up. JakeyJakester is going to pick up in the return. Big damage happening there. Jrox is going to be spinning through 3 people. Give him 1, 2 as Wallace is going to be picked up there. He's going to be on his portal once again. But that being said, ConjurationNite is going to be dropped and Jrox is going to pick up a double kill.
They do get the Phoenix though. As Phoenix does fall, the blink comes through out of Jrox as the jump is forced out of Onyx. Now it is a full-on race, and Poseidon will catch up to you there. As Onyx should fall here in between 4 members. The pluck away from his team. Don't know if that was the best thing to do there, bud. As you are letting him heal as well with the Stone of Gaia. Will not do much surrounded by 4 members. He will end up falling. As the 8-point anime slash does come through. Now the damage mitigated. On the side of Feeding Frenzy, they need to take this win, push an objective, mitigate a little bit more of that gold deficit that you have in your pocket. Get all those final items finished. Right now, Jrox is the only one sitting on a final 5th item. They need to get everybody else there with them.
Yeah, I do like what they did there, though. I'm going to say something that they probably didn't even know what they did, but they gave the shutdown gold to Big P. And that doesn't mean a lot, but it could going into this final kind of stages of the game. That means Big P can possibly get another big item online. Maybe that Soul Reaver you were talking about, or maybe even maybe the Telekine's ring that I was talking about. Less likely than that, but I really want to see him use the gold he just got to buy a big item and have a big back here before the firefight starts coming down.
Marissa might be looking to just solo the Pyro, get her team back to this FG as fast as possible. We'll see what her mind does. Places the ward. It is a sentry only ward on that Fire Giant pit as Pyro is started up. Big P is here to lend her his hand as they will drop it. Knowing that the rest of Olympians are making the rotation over.
I think Feeding Frenzy have a very shaky shot calling right now. A lot of the things they're doing in these fights are good, but they're also very shaky with their shot calls. They don't really know what they want to do per se. I think one thing I want to see in these future fights for the team is let Marissa know to just play a tiny bit more passive in these fights and get her damage off a bit more, because Onyx has been playing really good on this Cocolan. It's been driving the backline like crazy, where your backline dive for the Feeding Frenzy team hasn't been as good. So I want to see them possibly have just a better team fight per se from everyone. I want to see Itachi get straight to the backline too, as maybe kind of counter dive pretty hard. Looks like Big P is looking to back. He is going to look at that Soul Reaver that you were talking about, possibly maybe other items in that tree. I don't know any other item that you would go, but with that being said, the Pyromancer is going to be cold. They're going to go 50-50 and give the Pyromancer to them, but they're going to take a lot of damage from it. Loki's going to go straight to the backline, but with that being said, give the kill to Sambo is on Big B, as he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Jrox is going to be under attack here. He's going to back up pretty hard. Marissa is still alive. Nice job there by her to possibly get out. Jrox is going to die there. The Marissa, or sorry, the Izanamiel is going to come through. It's going to silence Onyx for a moment. With that being said, Itachi going straight to the backline. Can he possibly look to pick up a kill here? It doesn't look like he is, as Onyx is going to pick up another kill in this one.
Yeah, once again, another basically a clean sweep. 3 for 0 on the side of Olympians. They've been playing these firefights so well, and the Feeding Frenzy Titan has already dropped down to 50% with the minions flooding in, and that is fire to the Olympians. I don't know if there's much that Feeding Frenzy now can do to stifle the bleeding, as the entirety of this Olympians roster now funneling in, possibly going to go for another Phoenix here, maybe a mid Phoenix, or they might just drop ship it all into the Titan. We'll see what they elect to do, but they don't have a lot of time if they're looking to just drop ship the Titan. The Phoenix does respawn. Now they do have to pick one up, and middle Phoenix will fall without any contention, and it does look like they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's. Now right Phoenix is the play is Loki. JakeyJakester playing incredibly aggressive, keeping the rest of the team wary.
Ooh, unfortunately, Scotty's gonna miss the puck there. He's actually gonna frenzy there, which is really weird to see. Really would want to see him save that frenzy for a nice big team fight.
And I do like what the Olympians did. They didn't decide to go for the Phoenix that already had health off of it. They got the 2 healthy Phoenixes off the board, and they can always choose to go over and get that Phoenix whenever they decide to after this back, and just make sure that everything is all good for them to just funnel into that Titan and pick up the win. But Jrox doing a pretty good job here, keeping the other 2 as far away from their team as possible, keeping them from backing, spending their gold, whatever he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, I like what he's doing here, but I just don't know if it's. I guess it is kind of worth it there. I just don't really. I don't know. I think he should have probably tried to cancel like a more efficient back rather than trying to cancel the frontliners back. But at least he got a bit of damage off there and stuff like that. Well, that being said, we are 29 minutes into the game, so we are almost EFG time. So this game is coming down to the closing minutes. All the Phoenixes are down for Feeding Frenzy. What do you think this Feeding Frenzy group has to do to get back in this game?
They need Marissa to step up in these fights. She needs to get her damage off, like you were saying earlier. She has the crit online. She has the Executioner. She just needs to be able to do it, and she's not having the opportunity to get actually the high-value targets that she wants. The Lokis, the Janices, she's not getting those opportunities. And I think with the Sobek on your team and the King Arthur, they're doing a pretty good job of diving into their backline. It's just they're evaporating so quickly that you're spending the rest of your time on the back foot. I really want to see this Feeding Frenzy take a fight rather than react to a fight. Because I think if they do set up for Marissa and do set up for the big Kraken that Big P does have, they might have a fighting chance in coming back into this game and winning.
Yeah, I agree with you there. As we talk about that, it does look like Olympians are going to initiate another quick fight. Big P's going to get hit by the Kraken. He's going to fall down, but nice job there by Jrox to pick up JakeyJakester in the ultimate. The third one talk is going to go off, but here comes Itachi going straight to the back line. Unfortunately, doesn't get the Loki, so doesn't get the damage up on the Loki. But that being said, he's going to be in the back line even harder, as Scottyhope possibly could be picked off here. With that being said, Marissa is still alive, so let's see what type of damage she can do in this one. Jrox under attack, going down very low. Discord is back to legging.
As the throne room is now being invaded on the side of Olympians, and it will go down. Olympians even up the series 1-1. Beautiful team play from them to come back into this one off the back of a 7-3-12 Giannis performance from Boas, solo jungle, and the mid laners all stepping up for the in game 2, allowing them to pick up the dub, sending us to a game 3 once again. Hunter, it is our curse. Every set goes the distance, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. Come off the set being played into this. I do like game 3s, but I wish tonight wasn't the night that we had game 3s. But with that being said, I really think this Feeding Frenzy team did something that you don't see often. and that after a win, instead of being more confident, they lost all their confidence.
Well, we did see Jrox kind of reprise that performance from game 1 with the first 12 minutes of this game. He was running rampant. There's nothing they could do to stop him. And then the team fights started happening. And Olympians have always found that extra edge. They always had that extra player there to just bridge the gap that was created by Jrox within that first 12 minutes. And after that happened, after it was an even keel fight, those firefights for Olympians were able to bring them back into the game. We saw a clean sweep 5-0 into a fire giant that led to 2 towers and a phoenix. And then we saw another firefight 3-0 where they were able to get the fire and get 2 phoenixes off the board, wrap around, pick up the other, and win the game off of it. So it was just beautiful, organized team play coming from the Olympians that picked up the win for them today.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, as you brought up, game 3 time.
All right, finally I can do this. Nailed it. So much easier.
With that being said, I just want to give a big shout out to the 31 people watching on the stream. Me and Crown are, of course, glad to be back in the casting booth. Yeah. That being said, exciting update coming at Tuesday, Crown. What are you looking forward to in the new Smite update?
No boots. It's something that we have been asking for 8 years in this game. No boots. Take boots out of the game. And they're finally doing it. It's beautiful.
Crown was waiting for me to ask that question.
Dude, literally something. I think boots is a crutch in this game for so long. They made a good step to where they implemented a system where you didn't have to have boots. You could elect to go into that speed pot, and I loved it. The next step now is just to remove boots completely, and they're doing that. And I think that will open up the theory crafting for builds. I think it opens up so many more options for start of builds, for the completion of builds. It's just a lot of creativity is now just added into the game with boots not being an option for players. It opens up that extra item that you're able to get, or that extra kind of theory craft in, for instance, your solo lanes, or even in your hunters, where there's okay, I think this item this early on will be able to give me a lead. Or even if, for instance, Transcendence, they're upping the cost again. But with that being said, being able to not have to worry about, oh, I've died once, I have to go into boots here. It's better. You can finish your stacking, you can get that online faster. You can play that kind of mental chess game. And I just think the game will be better without boots being in it.
Yeah, I think one of the most underrated things with the new update coming out, of course, it comes out Tuesday. So if you guys are looking to get back into Smite, I know I'm going to be super excited for it. I know a lot of people are. One of the things that kind of opened up with the new update and stuff like that is the relics. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you're just going to go the same relics, Bees, Aegis, and still broken. I do agree. But Meditation's in a new state, we got that new relic coming out and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see where league sets kind of move out to. With, with no boots, as you're saying, builds, being a good builder in Smite is going to be a lot more next season. One of the big things we see in the new update, too, is the Mana Conceptor buff. What's kind of your thoughts with that? Do you think more auto-based junglers are going to start coming through the meta, or do you think it's still going to stay in the Satsuki era?
Nah, I love the jungle. I'm a jungle main. I have been a jungle main for the last 2.5, 3 years. Even now, when I play a god that I know I can build auto attack based, like a Nemesis or a Bakasur or a Kali or even a Set, sometimes I will still build Mana Conceptor on. It's not the best starter in the game. It's not even the best jungle starter, but I still build it. And it still does add that little bit of damage on top of what you're able to do, especially in the early game. So with them buffing it, I do think I think with the no boots and the buff to Mana Conceptor, I do think we will see a rise in Arachne play. Not necessarily in competitive, but I do expect at least a couple of people throughout the league to kind of theory craft in games and in scrims with an Arachne pick, non-ironically.
Yeah, but with that being said, the next season's in 2 days, but Game 3 is happening now. The pick side has also changed. Game 3, another thing to look at is Paisley is going to hop in for that ADC role, so it's going to be interesting to see what goes on here. Is there anything you want to see personally banned out from each team? Of course, bans are coming down, but is there any kind of bans you want to see happen out of the top three?
make Jrox play a different god. And they didn't do that. And I guarantee you Jrox will just first pick King Arthur if it's not picked up for Onyx here. Like, make him show you that he can beat you with a different god. So far, you haven't seen it. He has run the gambit in the first 7 minutes in each game with that character. If you even kill that or put Onyx on, nope, it won't happen. Never mind. Jrox, I'm expecting a King Arthur again. It's just something to go into sets that okay.
The Danzaburo is going to be back up there. This is a pretty big comfort pick for the team. I know you've been seeing Jrox's King Arthur, but Paisley's Danzaburo is something that a lot of people will fear, and that's due to good concern. Like, this god's played that guy a lot. I'm really surprised they elected to mind games. King Arthur jungle ? No, I'm kidding.
No, and Jrox once again throwing in like at this point. If you're on a different team watching this and you scrim against them, or if this game doesn't go the way you want it to and you're on the side of the Olympians, you need to look back to this moment and say, we're letting Jrox do the same thing to us. Ban the King Arthur, make him pick something that you know he may not be as comfortable on. And I think it works better for you. Now with that, the same 3 picks come in for the Olympians. Nothing has changed. Janice, Loki, and Kokolin. And if I were them, I wouldn't change that at all. You found a winning recipe with it. Your team fights were great. The Loki played well. And the Kokolin even came back into the game to just do what Jrox initially did in game 1. So I didn't expect anything new to come through for the side of Olympians, except for maybe a ban. But that didn't even happen. But we do have a kind of mixture of recipes. The King Arthur is the only person on this team reprising their role. We have a new support for Scotty in the Ymir. We have a new hunter in Jrox with the Danzaburo. Cupid and Izanami were the first 2. So I'm hoping that the Feeding Frenzy crew can fall back into what I said when we first started, those comfort picks for them. Like you said, Danzaburo, it's kind of in a weird place in the meta. He is really more of a comfort pick now than he used to be. But going into this, Chiron's taken off of the board, and Sobek was even banned away. I would like to see maybe even a Shibalanke.
Yeah. The only thing that I look at when I look at the Danzaburo pick is to me, Danzaburo is the second best hunter in the game right now. And a lot of people are like, well, why are you saying that? Because they've nerfed on her. They've nerfed, like, Chernobog, I believe, took a tiny bit of a hit. Apollo. They have not touched Danzaburo. Do people forget that this god, was a top pick not too long ago when the crit build was the thing? This god is good. This god is a good god. Just because, he gets overshadowed by Chiron does not mean, they're bad. So I really do like the Danzaburo pick here. Going back on what Stinky is saying in chat about try to shut down Jrox's King Arthur, you guys haven't proved it yet. If last game that you guys shut down Jrox's King Arthur and proved it, I'd understand. I'm maybe not banning it. But last game, Jrox still had a good game. I think the team around him just kind of I don't know what happened. I think they were playing really shaky last game, but I just don't see them shutting it down. They haven't done it yet. There's no reason why they are going to again. But with that being said,
it is the same 5 picks for the side of the Olympians. They're running every single character back. ConjurationNite playing his Fafnir. We have Onyx on the Kokolin, and Sambo is on that Janus. He played it very well in game 2, but 4 brand new picks for the side of Feeding Frenzy. We'll see if they're able to implement the little changes that they have in order to pick up a win in game 3. Now, ball is in the other court. Olympians, you won game 2. Can you come back and create the same magic that you found on the exact same roster, or will Feeding Frenzy have made the correct decision in picking up the characters that they think can counter everything you did in that last game?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen in this game. I think the only thing I don't like about the Feeding Frenzy's draft is the Humbats. And the reason being is because I do like Hunbats into the team. I think it works really well. But I think you want to use the beads burning of Ymir and kind of like use a god that works good when the enemy team has no beads. Like a Daji pick even here would not be the worst thing in the world.
Well, even kind of piggybacking off of that, Hunbats does do well into that because it is, you have to choose where you want to use your beads. Do you beads the totem, or do you beads the Ymir freeze? Both of those abilities, while granted one is on a much shorter cooldown than the other, both of those abilities basically render you useless for 2 seconds. And 2 seconds in a MOBA like this is an eternity. So if they're able to capitalize on it, I do think Feeding Frenzy has a very good 3v3 skirmish. Once again, I do think whoever wins that 3v3 skirmish wins this game. I don't think Jrox will have the same impact he had in game 1. Like you said, they kind of picked up a little bit of what to do, but I do think the Olympians have to play that flawless team play that they did in game 2 in order to get that win. So we'll see if they're able to do that, or if Feeding Frenzy has learned and we'll just play more team-oriented Smite.
Yeah. I think I want to see this Feeding Frenzy team, as you talked about last game, play more on the hot foot. They really slowed down their play last game, and it really hurt them. Like, really hurt them. But with that being said, we'll see going into here. But who do you think has this game 3?
You know, I want to hope in Feeding Frenzy. I really do. I do think the Olympians came back from a pretty decent deficit last game and ended up running the gambit with it. So I would give it to the Olympians. They haven't changed anything in their draft. They have the same game plan going in, and I think they just need to stick to it.
Because I know the Feeding Frenzy team, I'm gonna give them game 3. They have 3 comfort picks on this squad. I've never really seen Itachi play Humbats, but Big P's, Cuckoo, and Danza Burrow for Paisley, and Jrox is King Arthur. Like, 3 very good comfort picks that I think will pull them ahead this game. Like I said last game, I think the team was just playing too shaky to beat the Olympians team, but even with them playing a bit more shaky, they still were close to beating the Olympians team. So that's why I'm going to give them the edge in this one.
We do see both hunters go the Bluestone, what is that, Morning Star? Is that the tier 1 of that item, or am I insane? Aha! Nailed it. Your casters know. We know. We know what items are called.
Yeah, it does look like they are going to have a bit of pressure in the dual lane for the Feeding Frenzy. Let's see if that can make anything happen off that.
I would have liked to see that level 1/2 aggro a little bit more out of Feeding Frenzy. I think they had a little bit of a window where they could have aggressed with very little repercussion there, especially with Ymir. But, I mean, they're playing it safe. They're playing it simple. Beautiful.
As you say that, the damage is going to come in. They're going to do a lot of damage tonight. Let's see if anything can happen off that. The autos are coming down. Oh, nice leap there by Knight to get out of there. Unfortunate for the Feeding Frenzy team that they did not pick up the kill there. But we go over to the mid 2v2. JakeyJakester did have a good solid game on this Loki last game. Let's see if he can be an even better one on this one. That being said, Wattlexp, I believe he did get that, so nice job there. Nice factoring hammer there by Knight. Jrox does have the solo pressure, doesn't pick up the solo kill this game, not yet at least, but he does have control of this lane.
Skillsy, you're not that good, man.
Damn, Skillsy, I feel for you. But yeah, with that being said, let's see what happens here as Jrox, the guy that I coach, by the way, I do coach him, but I'm not going to say it like that. Onyx does go into beast form. Let's see what happens here as Jrox is getting pushed around a bit, but he still has Damahe.
Damahe.
Discord lagging. OP.
Whenever Discord lags, the stream lags. Oh, yawn, I'm sorry.
Now, with that being said, back over to the dual lane here. See what happens here as we have some good damage here. Waddle is going to be under attack. I do not believe he bleeds there, but he did get out. Unfortunately, taking a lot of damage. Let's see if any return happens here as he does have the blue stone with the acid shot. Or with a viper shot.
Acid spray.
Same thing.
Acid spray is the 2. Viper shot's the 1.
Shows you how much I played this. Yeah, with that being said, Scotty is taking a lot of damage from Medusa. Let's see if anything can happen here. Doesn't look like they are. They're just going to take the damage and run. Oh! Oh, no! As the ultimate from Onyx there was just a tiny bit too self. Let's see if a rotation from JakeyJakester can change the first blood not happening this game yet. Unfortunately, he's going to get portal cuffed. Jrox does have a good fight here, though. He's going to pop him up. He's going to use this big ultimate. He still has a pretty good fight here. Can he hit the cripple? Yes, he does. And is Jrox going to pick up the first blood? Discord flagging will not tell.
Nope. Solo lane island. As the jump in from ConjurationNite does get stunned, does get taunted. A lot of return damage onto Paisley, and he will go down. Wattlexp. We have a new first blood in this game. Double kill. To Waddle, and Jrox is just off the mark. Does still get the solo kill, but does not get first blood, sir. You're losing your luster, my guy. Pick it up, Jrox, man. You're falling off. That's a joke, everybody.
Court is still. Sunder was not used for the Fafnir there, so they did pick up the double kill without using that. See if I can use it in these future fights to kind of change that. With that being said, we have Mahes coming in.
And even after the first blood, we do see Waddle electing to go into the full ninja toppy right off the bat. I would have liked to see a prioritization into the Transcendence. I think getting those Transcendence stacked as early as possible is very beneficial. Now, granted, you do have a little bit of wiggle room with those Ninja Tabi finished that you might be able to take a fight, and he does secure.
Waddle picks up. Yeah, he picked it up again. I'm pretty sure. I do like what they're doing here for Olympian side. They're kind of leaving Waddles on his own. Wattlexp on his own. Kind of you know, he's the big final boss, right? So let's see what can happen here. Looks like they're gonna hang out in the jungle. Unfortunately, Discord is lagging OP.
And Ymir ult is able to pick it up. A return kill as Jrox is forced to beads out of the Loki ult. The dive comes through. Onyx will die as Jrox able to withstand the 1v2 into his tower and picks up the kill lead for his team. 4-2, Feeding Frenzy.
Hey, Skilly. That's the guy I coach.
You just got like super close in your mic. Is this an ASMR cast now?
I'm down. As they go for the greater scorpion.
Yeah, they're gonna pick up the double kill. Nice job by Jrox there to pick it up, and they're gonna pick up the greater scorpion there. As it does look like Itachi has grown a bit more than this Loki. Picked up a bit more. As it does look like Jakey is going to go back into that Transcendent start. I do just think Crusher, you kind of get more out of it than you do Transcendence. That's why I like the... Let's go.
I don't know, the Transcendence did work well for him going into those late game fights, able to burn the carries a lot faster with just the use of the ult. We did see the ult doing about 30% of their HP in the late game, so he's playing more for the long con rather than just the early to mid game fights. And I don't know if that's a bad thing for this team. I do know the Olympians, I mean, they've shown it this, like, at least in game 2, that they do know how to fight as a team, and I think that's what he's playing for.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with you there. It definitely did work nicely for them last game. I just think he can kind of do more with Crusher. I don't disagree with the Transcendence pickup. I just think he can do more with it. As it does look like they try to rotate on Paisley here in the side of the map, in the duo side of the map. It does look like they back up here as Jrox is going back to the big damage train in solo lane. Hasn't picked up a solo kill yet, but he has Onyx under tower. Looking to proxy. Here's Onyx doing the moonwalk. I really like what Jrox is doing here. With that proxy, he can open up if he wants to rotate or anything like that. He is going to look to try to pick up these back camps here. He's going to meet the Loki on the second back camp. So let's see if he notices. Yeah, he does. Oh, he doesn't look to try to pick up anything as he... Nice Collins there to show. But unfortunately, Paisley is going to get soloed there. As he did elect to go to the Transcendence first, so he can't really fight better than Wattles. So I think that's why, the solo happened. But with that being said, there's a lot of things going on in the solo lane here. It does look like Loki did make a rotation over there. The through Sands and Time is going to be used to try to get the team over there. Let's see if anything can happen here. Doesn't look like it is. It's Knight's just going to back up, and Jrox is still trying to cause havoc in the solo lane side of the map. He's level 11 versus the level 8 Kukulin. Let's see if that has a big effect on what goes on in these next 2 minutes here. Satachi's going to make a rotation over to the dual lane here. As Jrox is doing a lot of damage to Onyx. He's going to pick him in the air, coming down right into the... ultimate from Hunbats, and he's going to pick up the kill, but here comes Jrox. He wants more. He wants even more. As let's see what happens here as the pop-up's going to come through. The cripple not going to be used quick enough as JakeyJakester is going to have to ult away there.
It's through space and time, by the way, not through sands and time.
Same thing.
And it's Fear No Evil. Fear No Evil is Hunbat's ult.
I like Totem Diff better. No, I'm fine.
Hey, look, man, I'm just trying to help you be a better caster, okay?
Well, this...
I'm just trying to give you names. Names, dates, and addresses, man. That's all I'm here for.
Yeah, skills, yeah, I did. So when you're a good coach, you coach every point of the game.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just gonna stay out of that conversation, man. Back to the game. And Jrox has himself a very comfortable lead once again. 3 levels up in this solo lane. 3-0-1. And I don't know. Once again, I think you ban it, and I think you force him to beat you on something else. He has beaten you at this stage of the game every single game up until this point.
There you go, Skillsy. There you go.
Playing the transitive property over here.
With that being said, they're going to look for the Pyromancer here as the mid lane did rotate over to it. As it does look like it's going to end up being very low. The ultimate's going to be used as Feeding Frenzy. He's going to pick up the Pyromancer there. Nice job. As it does look like Jrox going to be under pressure here. Loki doesn't have any friends, though, as he is going to be under attack. The through space and time is going to be used. Doesn't look like it's going to find anyone, though, as he's going to just back up here. Let's see what can happen here.
Portal lands as Itachi is on the other side of the map. Does pick up Waddle, but Jakey able to get the return kill onto Jrox. Big shutdown gold as he is now level 10. The level 12, tied for highest level in the game, is taken off of the board. Now free solo reign over here for Onyx. What will he do with it? Will not push the tower. We'll look for all of the extras, the little goodies on the rest of the map. Does go for the proxy as well as the Gold Fury. Feeding Frenzy is able to pick it up with the 3-man rotation once again over to solo lane. We'll see if Sambos is able to pick up anything else on the back of this, and it does not look like he will look.
That's just kind of the advantage of going the Transcendence early, though, for Paisley. He's doing a tiny bit more damage than this Medusa, even with like almost an item and a half behind, as he did a lot of damage to those objectives to help his team. That's another thing, too. When you go Transcendence on Loki, you don't open yourself up for that enough early damage. And the other jungler just has that advantage. Big P's going to beat the portal, and he knows the portal's down. He's going to use the ultimate. Unfortunately, it's not going to hit. But here comes Knight running through the jungle there. His Discord's now lagging once again.
Yeah, everybody will just go their separate ways. Oracles will be picked up on the side of Olympians just as a consolation prize. They did lose the Gold Fury there. And we do see another blue buff invade for the side of Jrox, going into a 1v2 once again. 2 levels up on both of them at the moment. 2 levels, 2 people. That equivalates, right?
Nope.
Shut up. Not you, Hunter. Jake. talking to Jake.
But with that being said, I like what Jrox is doing here, trying to expand his lead even more. Possibly, maybe trying to pick up another solo kill here as he looking to body a bit more. Paisley is going to use the leaf to get in the opponent's head. As the Transcendence is going to be picked up. Okay. A man can dream, okay?
3-man grouping on the duo side for Olympians. They were hoping to catch Paisley slip in there a little bit. And Itachi will just hit the back.
They're just prepping for next season.
Now we're into the late game. The game is kind of slowed down a little bit here now. What do you want from either one of these teams in order to kind of break the game open and kind of run away with it?
I want this Feeding Frenzy team to realize that the other team has 2 Transcendents that aren't fully stacked yet, and play a bit more aggressive off of that. Jrox is probably the only one on their team playing a bit more aggressive. Paisley has tried to play a bit more aggressive, but I want them to kind of like realize like we have the power spikes. We have the power spikes. The enemy team is stacking items, so just kind of play off that. And they just need to fight more together. I want to see both teams try to take a team fight. We haven't really seen that a lot this game, but I think we're going to have to. But with that being said, Paisley has put himself in a good position to possibly pick up a kill there. He's going to hop right in the rocket. He's going straight after WattleXP. He is going to hit it. He's also going to hit the bag. So skills he's coaching helps him pick up the solo kill there.
Good play as Onyx is able to secure his own blue buff. The ult is forced, but we do have Itachi coming in. Other ult is used. CC immunity is all gone now. Onyx is forced on the back foot. Monkey does not hit. Beads are forced, as that is the ult in both stances for Onyx down and a big cooldown. Now the Ymir and the Hunbat's rotation onto the Kokolin, or even in these team fights, will be a lot of confirmable damage for them. Blink in from Scotty.
Scotty's going to try to go straight to the back line. Unfortunately, he's going to be caught. He's going to be portaled. Fafnir is going to ult right in the middle of their whole team. Let's see what happens here as Knight's going to try to go straight to the back line. But with that being said, he's going to be possibly picked up here. Ymir's going to hop straight down the ultimate. Here comes the Fear No Evil over the wall. Sambo is under attack. Nice job there by Big P to use the ultimate to pick up the kill there. WattleXP is going to go on the return kill. Jrox goes straight to the back line. Pick number 1. Unfortunately, the tower is going to pick him off there. Whereas WattleXP is going to pick up a double kill there. 2 kills in tower. He possibly could get a triple kill here. Unfortunately, he does the miss dash. Let's see what Onyx can do here. He's going to pick up the kill there by Big P, who gets a tiny bit out of position with that. That being said, though, we have Onyx going straight to the back line. Paisley's going to use the rocket ship to get out. Discord is lagging, and I cannot see what's going on.
As the rocket does not hit due to the vanish from Loki. And Paisley's under a lot of pressure. Will fall as the Kokolin will pick up 2. As it is a 5 for 2, if I am not mistaken, on the side of the Olympians. They took that team fight very well, and now this middle tower is under attack. And Onyx will just let the minions do all the damage there, as I do believe their eyes have turned to the Pyromancer. They do have Jakey here to help them out as well. Bit of an aggressive ward on the side of Onyx. And I don't see much contention for this Pyro. This should be a relatively simple one for them.
Yeah, but with that being said, like, I think the Feeding Frenzy needed to take better fights than that. They got another really shaky fight. They were both their backlines were very split apart there, and it made it really hard for Scotty to peel. He chose Dan's and Burrow at the start of the fight, but unfortunately Paisley gave up his life there, rocket shipping in. But we'll see how kind of like future the game plays out. That being said,
we are just seeing a rehash of game 2 where Feeding Frenzy does get off to an early lead. They have that bridge that they're able to continue to build on. But the team fights from the Olympians are just too strong. They know what they're doing. They know when to use what they need to use. And just the 5v4s that the Olympians have fought throughout this game, or throughout the set actually, is insane. They've constantly fought 5v4s. As the ult is used by Onyx. The portal comes through from Sambos. Does miss the unstable vortex as well. Loki ult used. Bees are forced. So is Aegis. As Itachi will go down to the Janus through space and time. Blink from Scottyhope. Does land a freeze onto 2. Does land the ice carpet. Will die. JakeyJakester sent back to the black and gray screen is a big ult from Big P. Spirit of the Nine Winds comes through. Huge is able to remove Sambos off the board. Jrox still under a lot of pressure. The Beyblade is used. Onyx, big boy ult, is getting caught by the jump over the wall by ConjurationNite. We'll be able to pick that up as the tornado does the work for Big P once again. Oof! In the sneeze with an auto. Big P picks up, I believe, 2 kills off the back of that fight. And we were just praising the Olympians' ability to team fight together. What happened there?
They started... Feeding Frenzy took a fight that they could win. One thing that's really underrated there about what happens right in that fight is what Itachi did at the beginning of the fight. He took a very nice fight in the jungle, very nice fight at the enemy yellow buff, knowing that Jrox was in the area. Jrox made a nice rotation, and Loki couldn't do anything because he already had half health. Another thing, Big P, very big in that fight. He picked up a triple kill there, killing Giannis, Medusa, and the Onyx on the Kukulkan. That's something you need to see more in these team fights. We need to start seeing more peel happening to Cuckoo to open them up in these games. The Olympians team, they really got spread apart. What happened there was when the fight first started, the Olympians team didn't know what to do, and they were all over the place. And then they all tried to do one thing, but that one thing wasn't the call, and that was fighting. They shouldn't have fought there. They should have backed up, took the tiny loss that they took, and instead they tried to make it a bit like a big play on their end, but it came into a big loss out of their end.
And now, once again, Feeding Frenzy in the driver's seat. And they just need to continue to have fights like that, right? Like you said, they took a fight that they could win. They need to keep the aggression up. And I do think a big part of it does come from the peel on the side of Feeding Frenzy. If they can keep this Kukulkan alive enough to drop a couple of tornadoes, to get through a couple of Zephyrs, and to get off a good ult in these team fights, it's going to be a lot for the Olympians to deal with. Because not for nothing, Sambos has been doing pretty well on this Janus. The ults are coming through. They're doing the damage. They're drop shipping the team. And you need the same effectiveness out of Spirit of the Nine Winds if you're Feeding Frenzy.
Right, and I also think one of the biggest things about this game is they have a comp built to fight the team. You know, they have a good comp against what Onyx wants to do. Onyx wants to go to the backline and just do whatever he wants. He can't do that in this game. That being said, Paisley's going to hop right in the rocket ship. Waddles is going to be a tiny bit out of position here. The stun's going to come through. The Aegis and Beads are down from the last fight. Paisley's going to pick up the kill using the rocket ship, but the Sands of Time is going to come through. Jrox is going to take about 20... Sands of Time. No, Jrox is going to take about 20% of his HP there. But with that being said, the Fire Giant has been started for the Feeding Frenzy team. Jrox is going to take the pop-up to heal. Let's see what can happen here, as he is a tiny bit weak. The Frenzy is going to be used very early. Let's see if that can have anything to do with it. But with that being said, there are 3 people looking at this Fire Giant here. They need to take a fight. Itachi's going to go straight to the backline. Unfortunately, Fear No Evil is not going to connect with a lot of people. Spirit of the Nine Winds is going to be used to confirm. It's going to hit Sandboas. Nice job there. With that being said, they're still weak from that Fire Giant fight. But here comes JakeyJakester trying to peel for his team. Jrox is under attack. Can he turn on this Loki? Yes, he can. Jrox won there as the fight's still going well for this Feeding Frenzy's roster. 2 of the frontliners are there for this Olympians team. Knight's going to jump right in and get picked off there by Big P and the big tornado there.
Yeah, Knight fought for about 3 seconds inside of that tornado, man. That is not going to feel good no matter how tanky you are.
Let's see what happens here, though. As a fight, another fight could be started here. Big P is going to pick up a nice tornado there on Medusa, forcing him to be about half health. Big P has really played big in these last fights. Nice job there by Jrox to zone out the 2 backliners. Onyx going straight to the backline. He's going to not pick up a lot of damage. Nice defense going on here by this Olympians team. This is the way they need to play if they want to start winning a bit more team fights. You know, play up more of a team. With that being said, it looks like this Feeding Frenzy team just needs to go. And Big P's going to say, you don't want to do it, boys? I'll do it instead. And goodbye, Sambo, as Big P's on a rampage. With that being said, Onyx Goody is going straight to the backline. And he is going to be paid for. Jrox with the big ultimate coming through. The damage is coming down. Nice job there by the Feeding Frenzy team to get another kill. With that being said, there comes the rocket ship using on Knight there. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. The stun's going to come through. No relics are coming down from this Medusa because she has none. The Mirror's going to come through. Nice Nice big slow there on Knight. He's doing 11 damage. Big P with the big tick damage, and he's going to be taking out Jrox once more. Unfortunately, he's going to be stopped there by WattleXp.
And the Phoenix does fall. Feeding Frenzy getting everything that they came for and more. I do believe that they only wanted that tower and they would have backed off. But as soon as Big P makes that big play, pun intended, to get Samboas off, there's a lot of staggered death timers happening for the side of the Olympians. And it is just opening up those doors for Feeding Frenzy to capitalize. Staggered death timers are the bane of Smite players. You either die all together or you don't die at all. If you have staggered death timers, then you're constantly in a power play, no matter what fight you decide to take. And the Olympians just played straight into it. I mean, they attempted, they had a pretty good defense, but after you have that initial defense and they don't back off and they don't try and go for something else, then you just need to give the tier 2 up. If they give the tier 2 up and just allow their team to come back, I don't think a Phoenix falls. It's just those little micro decisions that you have to make throughout the course of the game. The tier 2 is not that important when you can save a Phoenix.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems with both of these teams is they're thinking the shorter picture rather than thinking the long picture. You got to try to think 3 steps ahead of your team rather than thinking at the same point as you're playing. With that being said, the Gold Fury is going to come down, and the Feeding Frenzy are going to be the first team that are going to be ready. And we're going to hop in first person with the big man in this game, Big P.
Big P, the man that's making it all possible so far, has had some pretty good ults through space and time. Does not find anyone, as I believe that was Primal. Does fall.
I believe it was Primal Fury too, but they have the Phoenix down on the right side of the map as you're seeing it. So they're going to look to pressure the left side of the map. I really like the play here. She's going to look to be lurking in the jungle. I do like that play too. Now remember, this Cuckoo doesn't have Polynomicon online, so his tower damage is going to be a bit low. They still do have the Paisley Dens and Burrows, so it's going to be a higher tower damage. But let's see what kind of happens in this one here.
And that'll be all the tier 2s wrapped off, or sorry, taken off of the board.
On that side of the map, they still want it mid.
No, this tower right here doesn't exist. This one, one, no, that doesn't exist.
What's hitting them then?
Yeah, no, they're just ghosts. They're fighting a Spectre right now. That is all the tier 2s taken off of the board. All the Firebirds are exposed. One is already taken down. Feeding Frenzy finds themselves at a 12k lead. 25 minutes into it. They should go ahead and pick off anything that they can now. Backspin the gold, take another firefight. Their last one was phenomenal. Come back into it, and they should be able to pick up a win here. Emphasis on should. Now, we have seen the Olympians play very good team-wise up until the last fight that they did take, so it's just a matter of getting your mentality right going into this. If you are on the back foot, you need to play like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Scotty's build for a bit here. He elected to go to the Stone of Binding late. I really don't like this pickup going Stone of Binding late. 10 protections getting taken away from you is basically nothing in this late of the game. I think if he's going to look for more of like a utility-based item or an item that's going to help you do damage, I wouldn't have minded like a Gem of ISO here, like something like that. With them having a Medusa, a Giannis, and like a Loki, take Giannis out of the consideration, but like a Medusa Loki, you getting like a Gem of ISO proc on those gods basically cancel what the god wants to do. So I think like something like that, or even like an E-Staff. Being seeing a lot more Spirit Desolation being picked up. Onyx, unfortunately, is not going to manage his race properly, and he's going to be raging out just in the jungle there.
You know, and I don't know if I like what Feeding Frenzy did there. They backed off, allowed all of the ward coverage to go into the side of the Olympians as the taunt does come through, does not land from Paisley, as now Onyx steps up, still in that rage form, just now transforms out of it. They have a little bit of time to work with.
Yeah, Jrox looking to start a fight, get a lot of damage. Unfortunately, both of the front lines for the Olympians team are going to be picked apart here. The big P ultimate's going to come down. Goodbye tonight. Nice big kill there on the Fafnir. Let's see how that changes this fight. As Jrox is going to go straight to the back line. The through space and time is going to be used. The pop-ups, the jingles, and the dangos are going to be used. But let's see what happens here as the beads are going to come out from Waddle. Let's see if anything happens here as Jrox is going to get picked up or pick up the kill there. Nice job there as the Fear No Evil is going to be used. Nice job getting out there too by Loki. Is going to use the ultimate to get out.
Game.
Onyx is lagging.
Oh my lord!
Nice stun there. Big P's going to take the free kill that Jrox handed to him.
And Feeding Frenzy go into the throne room uncontested, except for Onyx popping up, but he's more of a formality, as the game will go to Feeding Frenzy, a 2-1 victory. Not as clean as they would have liked, but they do pull it off, and we did see a mindset transition. They played beautiful team smite in that third game, and it showed. They were one step ahead of the Olympians in that firefight, and Big P stepped up massive, 9-1 and 5. Beautiful plays. But out of the set, I gotta ask you, Hunter, because we always do this. Who do you got for MVP of the set?
I think it's kind of like, I'm not going to be this guy to pick the guy that I coach, but I mean, you can't not pick the guy who basically ran through ship in this whole lane this game. I got to give it to my man Jrox.
I would also give it to Jrox for the set. Now, I do think Big P is MVP of Game 3, but I think without Jrox doing what he does, Big P is opened up, and I mean, the numbers don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. 25k player damage on the boards. I do think you need to ban King Arthur from him. I don't think you need to let him have this. But Olympians put up a hell of a fight. They were able to mitigate all of the gold leads that were in Game 3. Unfortunately, Feeding Frenzy just making it all back up with their beautiful team play around that Fire Giant objective, and they were able to come out with a set win today, 2-1. Feeding Frenzy, your Week 2 victors. All right, Hunter, before we head out, anything else you want to plug? Anything you want to say? Say hi to your mom?
I'm actually going to say a pretty big news actually came in this week. Kind of some sad news. Big thing. I know a lot of people go through stuff in life. This is just one that I've heard about. Princess Butthole. Something happened to his family recently. I just want to give a big, I don't know, like, Butthole, kind of some thoughts and prayers to be with you, buddy. As I hope everything gets a lot better. But with that being said, I do not have anything more to add. I don't know if you have anything more to add, Crown.
No, I'm all good there. From your caster desk for Valhalla League, it is Crowned and Hunter back together again. Dynamic duo, man. We appreciate you all stopping by and sticking with us through this 3-game set. And have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and a beautiful rest of your week. And we will see you in 7 days.